Thank you very much, D-Man. Wow, that was incredibly close. It could have gone either way. Thinking of what we saw to pick some bans, Wicked picking up Swain in this one after we saw a couple of Swains already. What did you make of the pick in this one?
I actually really like the Swain versus Maokai, but they really needed to force it into the 1v1. So unless they can get that decent 1v1 where he can bully and have that bully matchup, he really doesn't have that much of an impact in lane phase. But when they started getting that going, Wicked survived many ganks by flashing walls and surviving long enough. And yeah, I think it was a really good pickup by him.
And also had some very good snares actually in the team fights. The build, however, I'm not even sure. He was going for Randuins, then he went into Spirit Visage, then he wanted to build the Hourglass, and then he didn't want to build the Hourglass, he wanted to get a Void Staff instead, or whatever it was in the end, and actually ended up not really completing anything. Yet in these team fights, Swain is very strong because you can tank up a lot of damage, you have the snare, you have to slow, and therefore he was very, very annoying and very hard for SK to deal with in these fights here, and therefore the pick of course worked out. Did cost them their first blood because they had to swap, make sure they got the standard lanes, and in the end Svensson actually got the kill on Nip, I believe it was, up in the top lane.
So actually we saw SK doing pretty well again in the early game, but then ward police, what's the verdict?
SK started warding again up until 20 minutes and then boom, no wards for the rest of the game. So they've started doing what they need to do. Hopefully they can start buying wards mid-game and then we'll see a lot smoother games.
Yeah, let's just bring up the replay where we really do highlight also SK Gaming's issue here with the wards. So there's a reason we're showing the items right now. On SK Gaming's side, Dragon has just spawned. They've all been back to base. We have 4 health potions, no wards. You only have the Sightstone ward at the moment from the Morgana, from the support. There's no pink wards at all. Alliance, on the other hand, if you look at their side, has already placed 2 pink wards. They've already placed some of the wards they had, and they have even more wards at the moment. It simply means, let's just roll the clip here. Freddy actually gets an okay engage onto Wicked here, which is very nice setup for him. Jesse's right to introduce his Shockwave just to finish off Wicked and get this one kill. But now it means SK Gaming can no longer chase Alliance because they have no wards in this area. They have no idea what they're running into. They cannot face check Froggen, and therefore as soon as N-rated dies, the rest of the team kind of backs away, and it opens up for Nif to land the hook because they know we have no way of chasing into these bushes here. We have no wards, and Alliance has everything covered. They can see everyone from SK Gaming. They get the kills. Also in the end, pick up the Dragon, and it's basically just SK Gaming making the game insanely hard for themselves. Crepo in the backstage. In the backstage, Crepo said himself, why does this game have to be so hard? You have the option to go back and buy a lot of wards, take the lead you already have, place them on the damn map, get a lot of control, and then you can pick the right fights. But instead, SK Gaming, they keep doing the same deal. They never want to buy these wards late game, and it just makes it so hard for them to actually play in the late game.
I'd like to point out with SK's composition, they need to fight this Dragon. Their composition is so perfect for this. But against Alliance's superior ward control, they're forced to do this panic engage where Freddy gets caught out first. And they need to completely avoid that. If they just ward up first, things will be so much easier for them.
Is it safe to say that Alliance is underperforming by a little bit, or by a lot? Yeah, and make you let that call. And that SK is just simply outplaying themselves?
Well, the thing is, we don't know if it's SK Gaming performing really well here or if it actually is Alliance underperforming. If we look back just to the season or the split we have seen here, Alliance has been very, very dominant in every single game, in every aspect of the game as well. And today, they just seems to have a lot of issues in the early game. Even the mid game is not as smooth as we normally see, and they have to drag it to a late game before they can get this crucial last team fight to win the game. 2 games now they've won, where they've actually been behind. SK Gaming was pushing in the base, and then we have this one team fight from Fnatic, from Alliance. It's been a very long day. From Alliance, they win it, they take the base, and end up winning the game. And it's crazy to see SK Gaming being ahead in all these games and being so close, and yet so far.
All right, then I want to revisit the predictions after what you said here, but it's just gotten harder.
I called 3-1 Alliance from the start, and I'm going to stick with that.
I'm going to give the next game to SK Gaming. Last game? Well, I'll give it to SK Gaming as well.
All right, well, go to full 5 games. That's what we want. If you thought this series was going to be a clean sweep, these teams had other ideas. We're on to Game 4 when we come back, so don't go anywhere.